I'm struggling with the wide stance squats. I've always struggled with it. I've avoided it for a very long time. Only in recent months I have taken up this challenge, both mentally challenging because I don't find it appealing at all. It's not aesthetic to me to move in this way. But also it's challenging in the sense that I'm very weak in this position. And so lots of thoughts go through that. Lots of ideas go through that. How do I get better at something that I'm really, really weak at? And so, you attack it from all sides. And one thing that I realized really early on is that my hips are not very mobile at all. I struggle to hit that depth. I struggle to abduct my femurs, externally rotate them. And so what happens is my knees buckle in when I do wide stance squats. I have very little muscular force to keep the knees out. And so part of my thinking early on was, let's jump on that split machine that I bought a while back and just crank it every day. I'm in front of the TV, I'm with the kids, laying on the ground. It's super easy to sit there and just crank it and, add some real quality time on that machine. And so in recent times, I've gone crazy with it, really, really crazy. And what I've found is the actual opposite to be true. Me stretching real hard of my hip flexors and the adductors have made squatting damn near impossible in the wide stance. Because, once again, I underestimated the effect of stretching. Stretching is not a joke, man. Like, that thing will tax you. It will put a number on you, man. My squat form is atrocious. And every time I stretch hard, it gets even worse. So, you live and learn, right? I need to address this. I need to do this to get better at it, but doing it makes me worse at it. It's just funny. What you're seeing here is me doing some supination, elbow work. Why am I doing that? Well, another thing which I've found with the bloody low bar squats is that your elbows cop it. And so in the last probably week or so, the first few reps, the first few sets that I do, my elbows feel a little bit off. Not in the usual spot that my elbows feel. So I used to always feel kind of like in that medial aspect of the forearm of the elbow, so the inner part of the elbow. Now it's on the other side, which is the tennis elbow. I used to have golfer's elbow and I have tennis elbow. So in order for me to get really good at low bar, I need to warm up with some supination work. And that's made me feel really good. In order for me to do low bar really well, I need to get stronger. I need to get more mobile, which makes me want to do stretching. However, both of these things take away from the same thing. And so the actual squatting suffers because you're fatiguing the very muscles which need to be improved. This is the whole part of the journey that just makes me laugh. Obviously, I had a really nice period recently. Set all those deadlift PRs, bloody amazing, right? Really positive feeling. But the thing that I've noticed is that when I was doing those deadlift PRs, it wasn't a sensation of, victory or, I'm a champion or super, happiness. It was simply just relief. It was a sense of relief. That's kind of how I would describe it. And now when I hit these, let's call them road bumps, speed bumps on the way to my journey, so the elbow pain with the low bar squats, the really, really bad sore hip flexors, I just laugh because the very nature of this whole thing is what keeps me coming back. If it was all smooth, I doubted if I would have ever fallen in love with squatting. Squatting every day came about because it is shit. It is so crap for me and my body to get into a good squatting pattern. And it's so tricky to get better at it. So freaking tricky. And it just makes me laugh. It honestly made me laugh this morning. I get out of here. I've had a couple of bad days. I haven't really talked to you guys much, but I've had a couple of bad days. I didn't tell you at all. I woke up yesterday or the day before kind of feeling sick. Yesterday I spent the day in bed. Today I'm becoming already better. Today is Christmas for all of you guys that are celebrating Orthodox Christmas. Mir Božji, Hristos se rodi to you guys. Got a whole day stacked full of lots of things to do. So I get up, do my thing in the morning, and I would love to just jump onto the low bar squat and just get on with it. Nah. Now there's a whole host of things I got to do. Like I have to make sure the hip flexors are happy, which they were not this morning. Also have to make my elbows happy. So it's like, the first few weeks that I was doing low bar squats, you just walk in, bang, unrack it and go. But now things are getting a little bit different. Now I got to do this and that and whatever. And kind of makes you think maybe I should just swap it out completely and go back to high bar again and let all that rest. But it's interesting. And it makes me laugh. But at the same time, what makes it interesting is what makes me keep coming back. It's hard, man. It is hard. It is so easy to quit. Nothing is easy. Working this stuff out is difficult. My body's weird. Sometimes I think to myself, like my bow-leggedness, maybe that's something to do with like how I need to think about different things. My hip flexors are short. Maybe that's got something to do with the nature of just my posture of how I walk, how I carry myself, the bones, all that stuff. It's a lot to think about. But the evolution of the journey is such that sometimes I don't even know what's going to happen. I never thought I was going to have to do tennis elbow exercises to do low bar squats. I've heard many times low bar squats destroy elbows. And this is kind of one of the biggest negatives about low bar squats. I just didn't think I was going to be able to get that with the little weight that I'm using. I'm using puny weight compared to my high bar stuff. But no, my elbows are pissed. So now I have to do this. So this is where like the whole idea about the evolution, your training, you never know what's going to be a challenge tomorrow and what you're going to have to do to survive tomorrow. And this is why these rigid programs, these rigid ideas, 12 weeks in advance, how the hell do you know what's going to happen in 12 weeks' time? I mean, maybe you do. Maybe your body's going to act exactly how you want it to. Mine certainly doesn't. I bench a lot, elbow starts to hurt. I have to do pronation. I'll do low bar squats. I have to do supination. So it's just like, I would have loved not to do this. I mean, this is not sexy stuff, but I got to do it, man. I got to do it in order for me to survive it. But then you start to kind of figure out, okay, the hip flexors are really being challenged in low bar squat. Low bar squat seems to be even more dominant on the hip flexors than high bar. Isn't that interesting? Put that in the file of all the information that I have experienced with this journey. Just another thing to discover. Zachary Pennington is the latest Patreon supporter. Zach, man, as I say to everyone, this means a lot to me. I appreciate it. Recent times, I've spoken about this a little bit. Had a bit of a challenging end to the year, mentally processing everything, a little bit of reviewing mindset. But it's always really nice to have support like this pop out of nowhere and lend a helping hand on my way like this. So really appreciate you, Zach, man, and everyone else that's on Patreon. Come and go on. A lot of these names that you guys see on the screen are not, Patreon supporters anymore. But out of respect to everyone, I will leave your name on there. Even if it was for 2 seconds, it means a lot, man. So I know this list looks like it's exhausting, but that's in the last 5 years, people have come and gone, and I tip my hat off to all of you guys. Appreciate you guys. And once again, if you celebrate Christmas today, Mir Božji, Hristos se rodi. I hope you guys have a good Christmas. Appreciate you guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.